All right. Okay. I have had a request now for quite a while from a lot of people carving a wizard. Now, I have not carved many wizards. In fact, I've carved a few, I think small, miniature, or whatever. But I've never really carved a lot of wizards or anything like that. I'm just not into it a whole lot. But I thought, well, let's give it a shot. Now, Tom Hines is got a lot of small miniature wizards that is carved. Tom is extremely good at it. He got some really cute stuff. I want to tell you something. And Steve Brown on carvingvideos.com has one of a wizard, which is, I heard, a very excellent video. Mr. Brown is a extremely fine carver and teacher, and he has one. Now the wizard I'm going to carve today is going to be a little bit different than the one he carves, but look at that. It's called carvingvideos.com, where you got such great carvers as Steve and Mark Akers, and I think even Alan Goodman's got some stuff on there, and Alan, of course, is a wonderful carver, but an even better knife maker. I have to be prejudiced with Alan because he makes some of the best knives I've ever seen. Of course, I used one, and I'll be using one today. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and do a wizard out of, well, we're going to, I don't really know what I'm going to necessarily do here, but it's going to have to be kind of winging it, as we might kind of say. Now, the first thing I want to do is take a block of wood. Now, this block of wood is 8.5 inches by 2 inches, okay? So, in a matter of speaking, I'm going to come down about 2.5 inches and draw me a line from the top. And I'm going to come down 2.5 inches. Is that 2.5 or 2 1/4, Gene? It's 2.5. 2.5 inches. That's going to be the and which I will also draw a line right here. And I'm going to go all the way around 2.5 inches. Two and a half. And we'll draw a line. Okay? Yeah, that's good. That's good. I'm sorry. I'm just kind of looking at, I want to, maybe that was a little bit too long, but I kind of want to make the little top of the hat kind of go out like quite a bit. Okay, then I want to come down 2 3/4 for the brim. 2 3/4, 2 3/4, 2 3/4. Draw a line there. So it's 2.5 to the, this will be the brim of the hat. That'll be the top of the brim. This will be the bottom of the brim. 2 3/4. Draw a line. 2 3/4. Draw a line. Doesn't have to be perfect, but close. I want to suggest that you take advantage of carvingvideos.com. They have some exquisite carvers on there. Mark Akers, by the way, is probably one of my favorites. Mark is an extremely wonderful carver. Has won quite a few awards. Steve Brown is a teacher. There's quite a few other wonderful carvers on there. And then if you are really into cowboy carving, and of course Lynn Daltrey is probably, or isn't probably, he's one of the best. So he has his videos that are available on outwestwoodcarving.com. So let's go ahead now and take, and this is 2 inches across, so we want to go to the very middle here, which is 1 inch, and draw us a little line and mark it down the middle of it. Okay, we're just finding our middle place here, and we want to come over on each side about a 1/2 inch. Okay, I'm just going to kind of draw that like that. That's going to be where our hat, part of our hat is. Now we're going to take our knife, whoop, and there's going to be a lot of removing of wood in this. But we'll make it. And we can come around here. This is going to be our and if you don't have a bandsaw, then let's see, I think Gary Phelan makes a rough out. That's Gary, F-A-L-I-N. He makes a rough out of a wizard. If you don't have a bandsaw, or you don't have a way of doing this, he makes a rough out, an excellent rough out of a wizard that you can get and carve. So you have, I'm just amazed, folks, at what the resources you have today of carving things. I mean, when I first started carving, there was just no resources. There were the only video or VHS video they had was by Jack Price, and there was one by what was his name? Can't remember. But they just didn't have the videos and the rough outs and the things that they have today. More Rough Outs has M-O-O-R-E. Have a ton of rough outs for people. There's a lot of roughing out to this. You don't want to do one so big. You do a miniature one when you see how it's done. Alright, let's look at our piece. Of course, here is our pivot point, as we say, for the hat. And we just have to keep bringing it down, folks, to what we want it to be. Okay, my time's about up. Here you go. This is just part one, so. Okay.